And see how God is, good God is. He brought us on this journey. So we walked that grief journey. But what I really wanted to come and talk about is the power of fellowship. The power of fellowship. Sometimes when we grieve, we like to be isolated. You know, we want people to leave us alone. We want to be in our own misery because don't nobody else know how we feel, and we don't want to talk to nobody how we feel. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all have no idea. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not about just losing a spouse. Anytime that you grieve, we have this thing. I just want to be left alone. And sometimes that leave me alone causes us to just want to die. I'm gonna tell us about 2 stories in the Bible and how fellowship actually saved their lives. And not just saved it, they became thriving because of that. And that's what I want everybody to understand. No matter where you are, you can thrive as long as you allow yourself to fellowship with somebody. I think what we do, we are in a place where we have been said, I can do it by myself. I can do it alone. Even, I can get myself through anything. And that's how we want to be strong. We can get ourselves through anything. Because I heard a lot of people when they lose their spouse, I got to be strong for everybody else. I got to be strong for my kids. I got to be strong for their friends. I don't want nobody to see me cry. I don't want nobody to see that I'm upset. I don't want nobody to know I'm going through anything. Y'all never said none of those things, right? Y'all don't put on masks. We don't pretend. We good at that portion of life. So now let's start off with Ruth and Naomi. The power of fellowship there. The power of fellowship is they were from different generations. Y'all realize that, right? Yeah, Ruth and Naomi. And I'm gonna say that, yeah. We from different generations, but we both lost the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's right. But the thing is, we sometimes forget that because we in our own little place. But in that story, what happened is, even though she was in her own little place, because her goal was to go back to her people, be bitter, and be sad. Remember, she had changed her name. She wanted to go back and just be bitter and sad because she felt like everything had been taken away from her. But what did her daughter-in-law say? No, I'm going to go with you. First step of fellowship. I'm willing, even though you mean, mad, and angry right now, I'm going to even ride this road with you. And sometimes we separate from people because we don't want to deal with their stuff. That's none of us in here, no. Because I know we good Christians. Mm-hmm. We are long-suffering and we ride out with people, right? Right? Isn't that what we do? But in this story, she didn't even know nothing about Christianity. She just rolled out with her mother-in-law. Not even her mother, not even blood. It was because she said, I'm going to stay in fellowship with you and your God. Not even knowing her God. But she said, I'm going to walk with you. But what was the benefit of that for both of them? First of all, you don't have to go out and die. It don't matter what age you are. Just because you cannot, you don't feel like you can have another husband again, or you don't feel like you can birth another child again. There is something else that you have to offer that you can birth and give to somebody, because she had a lot of wisdom that she could give her daughter-in-law, which actually allowed her to start her life over again in a new place. So saying all of that, the power of fellowship means that we always have wisdom to provide to somebody else if we're willing to get outside of our own bitterness, our own misery, and allow somebody to walk with us. Mm-hmm. Y'all with me on that story now? Yeah. We gotta allow somebody to walk with us during that time. And the problem is, most of us, we shut ourselves in our houses, we get busy doing whatever it is we call ourselves doing, but we're not really living. It's just the preparation for us to die. That's what we're doing. It's the preparation for us to die, because we're not actually out pouring our knowledge into somebody else that actually can cause us to live a more bountiful life now even. Mm-hmm. I want you to think about that. Who could you be pouring your knowledge into to help them have a more bountiful life that will in turn cause you to have a more bountiful life? It's a real simple question. Just think about it. Everybody got somebody. And notice in that story, it was not somebody that was blood. Somebody that was not necessarily family. We always think about, okay, but we got grandkids, we got kids. We always think about our own. Something I told my daughter the other day, we have come up in this generation is my foe and no more. We've gotten so bad in the body of church that we've singing, if you don't exist in my house, it's not my responsibility for you. But God has given us the responsibility for everybody in the Christian body. So if we recognize that there is somebody that you can pour into that would actually cause your life to be more bountiful, and you can actually live your later greater than even your first half. So that was that one story. I know y'all was like, you ain't through yet? No, that was that one story. So now, second story, y'all know about the widow of Zachary. Y'all know she was all, well, in her mind, she was all by herself. She done forgot she got a young child she's supposed to be living for. She done already planned her death and his death. Remember, she said, I'm going to go home and die. This was a season of drought for the whole nation. It had not rained. And when I want y'all to think about, there is a season of drought for all of us, whether it's financial, whether it's health, whether it's relationships. So think about those droughts in your life. Just think about them when you said, okay, my finances just ain't where they need to be, and I'm going to stop worried about it. I'm going to just not pay no bills, let them come take everything, and whatever happened. I know there's none of y'all in here.
I've been there.
But you understand what I'm talking about. When your relationships, when you feel like ain't nobody calling you, ain't nobody helping, and nobody's helping you get through. And that's where she was. She was like, I have nobody to help me. But what happened? The prophet showed up on assignment. There's a prophet assigned to every one of our lives. But sometimes when they come and ask for help, the first thing you say is, I ain't got nothing anyway. So I ain't got nothing to offer you. Remember that's what she said at first? She said, I only got enough bread for me and my foe. Just for me and my foe to die. Y'all know the Bible, so don't act like y'all looking at me strange. And that was her story, but she said, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to be obedient. Even if I don't get to eat my last meal, I'm going to be obedient to God and go feed this prophet. And sometimes when we're talking about feeding the prophet, it does not mean actually fixing a physical meal. It's something within you that God says, if you release it, I will multiply it. If you release it, I will multiply it. And that's all he's saying. Because all of a sudden, she fixed that one meal. Y'all don't remember how many years that the prophet stayed with her after that? And she had many meals after that before it even rained again. Y'all, anybody know? It was another 3 years.
Wow.
So she was inevitable to die anyway. Because she only had one meal, and that one meal wasn't going to last her for 3 years. And it was a drought. So she was going to die now if she had not been obedient to God. And that's the key. A lot of times we hear God talking to us. And you're like, but no, this last meal is for me. This last little bit is for me. And y'all can think in your mind, it's something that you was like, no, I'm not giving this away to nobody. Y'all laughing because y'all can think about something. You might have 200 pair of shoes in your closet and somebody came by and asked for one.
Can't have it.
Can't have one. They walking around with the bottom of their feet, shoes almost all gone, and you won't give them one. But you know what? If you probably had gave them those shoes, they could have walked somewhere and brought you the groceries back you needed. You had gave them that coat they asked for. They could have walked somewhere and brought you something back you needed. You got a coat, but you ain't got no food. Sound like wisdom. You got a pair of shoes, but you ain't got nowhere to get them where anyway. So, I mean, it's a balance. She got one meal. One meal is all she had. What was that one meal going to do for her? It was going to give her the same results if she had shared it versus eating it. So I'm going to die on a full stomach. Or I'm going to take my chances with God and live full every day. And see, that's all I want you to do. I just want you to take your chances with God and live full every day. You know how easy that is? But most of us tune God out because I want to keep what I want to keep. I know we say we are selfless people as Christians until it gets down to that one little bitty thing that God say, are you willing to give this? And I have to have a conversation with every God, because I'm the person, I'll give you clothes off my back. I'll give you clothes, I'll give you shoes, but then I have to say, God, well, what is it that I really want to give you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because those things have become easy, those things. And so I really have to have a conversation, God, please don't ask me for that one thing, because I'm really not sure what it is. And then I'm afraid that if he asks me, that I might really not be able to give it. And it's kind of appropriate today that we're having this conversation on leap year, because God did challenge me. Everything was, it got to be easy. I could not eat for 40 days. That, fasting got to be easy after a point. I was like, okay, God, I'm in the groove with this giving you stuff. I mean, at this point, it ain't nothing you can ask for that I can't give. Leap year, 4 years ago, he asked me not to get no sleep. I was like, now, Lord, you really pushing that level. You know how much I adore my sleep. And I realized that was the one thing I love. I was like, ooh, you just asking.
Mess with these naps.
Huh?
So don't mess with these naps.
Yeah, I gotta get my sleep now. What is wrong? I'm not, when they say get your beauty rest. And I don't mean for the skin on the outside, it's so I can be beautiful when you call and talk to me, because, I'm not really the best person in conversation if I don't get my sleep. You might not get the best version of me. You definitely won't get the godly version of me. Because sleep is deprivation. When we get into sleep deprivation, our memory is not the best, our attitude's not the best. So he stretched me. He said, you're going to have a 24-hour conference. You're going to stay up from the beginning of leap day to the end of leap day. I was like, God, you were tripping. But I did it. And what I found out is one day of sleep is not going to kill us. One day without it won't kill us. It will stretch us. And that's really all God. It's nothing that God asks you for will kill you. Even if he asks you for your spouse. It didn't kill you because you're still sitting here with me, right? He asked for your child. It didn't kill you. It stretched you. He asked you for your mother, your son, whomever he asked you for. It didn't kill you. It stretches you. And that's the thing. We have to realize, what was God stretching us to do? He just really wanted me not to cover that more than him. That was it. He was like, okay, you might be sleepy, but if I need you to go see somebody, will you go see them? If somebody asks you at 2 o'clock in the morning to pray with them, will you get up? Or will you be like, oh, well, I need to call you back in a few hours after I get a nap? But the problem is that when they needed you at 2 o'clock in the morning, might have been the time they were getting ready to commit suicide. Can I trust you at any hour of the day to move in my obedience? And that was really all that 24 hours was what he was trying to teach me, is I need you to be available to me for 24 hours when I call on you. Will you wake up when I call? So for y'all who get the 2 o'clock in the call morning from God and you roll over, because you're like, why am I getting up at 2 o'clock every morning? I ain't got no job to go to. Why is he bothering me? And you just roll over. Because he needs you to pray for somebody. He might need you to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. So it's everybody got something. And God deals with us in a new thing every year. Because it's something that we all cover. It's something that God is working outside of us. And it's really, he's working outside because that way we can be better to each other. And that's why I say the power of fellowship is all about us improving and being better with each other. You got questions, babe, already? You always got questions. What is your question?
I just want to add to what you were saying, a very important part what you were saying. Every time the Heavenly Father wanted to do something for him, it's always in an uncomfortable position. And that's where our blessing come from. Just like you want to get somebody to coat off your back, or like say if you want to get up 2 or 3 o'clock to pray for somebody, you sleep, you just got off and work, you're tired. And see, that's where the blessing come in, right? When you make a sacrifice to represent him. And that's where we fall short of blessing, because we want to get out of our uncomfortable position.
Yeah, because it's become easy for us to just show up to church on Sunday, right? That's routine now. We planned it. We know what time we need to go to bed, to show up on time and to be here, and all that good stuff. We planned out, any things they put on the church program, because they put the calendar out in the year for you to do. But when the emergency arises, when God needs you outside of your plan and outside your calendar, how do you react? How do you react then? And that's the key. How do we react? Are we able to help other people when we are uncomfortable? Are we? And I mean, that's the key. So basically, I wanted you to know what the Power Fellowship is in 3 things. I'm challenging you all. You know, I like to challenge you. I don't want you to just be like, okay, I don't have no idea what that lady was talking about. So I'm gonna challenge you all. First of all, to pour into somebody else, because you still have an abundant life to live. There's some overflow and abundance in each and every one. I'm speaking this to myself. Each and every one of us in this room. There is something that we have that God is speaking to us right now. Because I can see some of y'all moving in, some of y'all thinking about it. There is something that God is speaking to you right now, and He's saying, share it with somebody. And I'm gonna pick on you. You talked about those cars earlier. There is some knowledge that you have in your garage that you need to open up your doors to teach somebody. I didn't say give away. I didn't say give. I said teach.
Yeah.
I ain't even got to the giveaway part yet. There's some knowledge that you need to teach, because God said it's not supposed to die with you. So there's somebody that you're supposed to teach. And them hot rod magazines that you were looking for, they won't even become magazines. You will actually get more space to do the things that you wanted to do. Because there's no limits to, if you desire something else, God will give it to you. But He's not going to give it to you until you give that thing and pour into that person. And you already know who it is. It's somebody who's been bugging you like crazy about some information. But whoever it is, you know who it is. They've been bugging you. Well, if that's that person, then you need to share. I didn't say if it was male or female. I didn't tell you what age it was. Because remember, the prophet was a male, and she was kept alive. And you know, during that time, that is not appropriate for a man to stay with a woman that long. So we cannot worry about the appropriateness of it when we are being obedient to God. We have got so caught up in what man values as appropriate versus what is God's word telling us to do. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just using you as an example because I heard it when you said it and you was talking about those books. I knew you was going to be my conversation for today on that challenge.
I won't jump for them.
Y'all know you moved so I wouldn't talk to you. Because you was right here with me. You was right here with me and then you moved to the back so I wouldn't have a conversation with you. I know you did. I know how I was feeling you get away from these women. So I won't be targeted, but I had you already in my spirit when we came in today. So I already knew that was going to be your challenge. All right, so I mean that's everybody's assignment, but I just knew what his was. All right, so y'all already know too. Y'all have heard it. Somebody's been bugging you and you've been asking them to leave you alone, or you've been telling them I don't do that no more. And I'm gonna give an example. On the way down here, my son wanted me to plan his 30th birthday party, and I stopped doing parties a long time ago for him. I mean, you grown now. You ain't figured out to do your own party yet. But he's like, Mama, I need you to do this. And I was like, I don't do parties anymore. I don't do events. I mean, I actually used to do event planning. I was like, I don't do that anymore. And we were having this conversation. I was like, people just won't let you stop doing what you used to do. They just always trying to drag you back to that. So that's somebody in here. Somebody's been trying to drag you back to something, and you say, oh, I don't sew no more. It's not that you don't know how. Oh, somebody just peeked around the corner, see? I hit somebody up in here, huh?
Look at that, Sister Gary. I've been on to her about getting that quilt
Yes.
to be so that I can couch it.
Yes.
Well, all right, so I'm saying we stepping on some toes, but I understand there's somebody that's been getting on your nerves and it's something that you're supposed to do and you just tell them I won't do it. She just called you out and said, I ain't have to do that. I just dance in the area for you. Okay, so that was your challenge. Now you know what yours is. Okay, so now that was the challenge of actually pouring back, because we want to be like the widow of Zephyr. We're going to live, right? That challenge. We're going to pour. We're going to keep pouring. Now, the next challenge, I know y'all like, please sit down, lady. But it's going to be 3. I promise you 3. So the next challenge after that, after you start pouring into somebody, tapping back into that, be open to actually a prophet coming to you now. I know y'all like, what does that mean? It might be your first lady, it might be your pastor, but it might be somebody passing through who came for a meal. And I don't mean necessarily a meal to eat. It might be a spiritual meal, it might be a physical meal. They have a need that you can satisfy, and it may be your last. So let go of them pair of shoes. I'm talking to you, shopper. Let go of them shoes. Mm-hmm. Let them go.
Put them on that go.
She said put them on let go.
No, I'm not talking about putting them on let go. There is a particular individual that you need to let them go to. I'm not talking about selling them. I'm not talking about having a garage sale.
I do give away.
I said to a particular person.
Particular place.
It's a particular pair and a particular person.
That you'll probably know when you get to it.
Yeah, when they come, you're going to know. If they hadn't already come and you need to go back to them.
I feel willing to do that.
Okay.
If I got pen.
Oh, I know you do. That's who I was talking about, 200. I already counted your closet for you. So I just need you to be willing to let go. It's the person, not the shoes, that you were having an issue with, not the shoes. Because I know you a giver. Just like I said up here, I'll give you the clothes off my back, but maybe the wrong person next to him, I'll be like,
You can't have it.
Yeah, because it's something that's saying, you don't need these, I don't want to give it to you, something happened, give them to them. And your 200, even though you don't need no shoes multiplied, you're going to get something else in return that you've been wanting. Not you need, but that you've been wanting. It's something you've been wanting. And those shoes that you give away is going to give it to you. And I, you like, I don't really want anything. And you talking about something tangible in your closet. I know it's not something in your closet you need. But I'm not talking about closet. I'm not talking about clothes. It's something that you want and you've been asking God for. And those shoes are going to get it for you. Just that simple. Okay, so everybody in here, y'all got something you need to give away. And I'm not talking about something raggedy that you was gonna put in the trash can. I'm talking about that thing that you actually love. Y'all got me? And I mean, don't go crazy and just give away everything in your house. That's not, it's very one particular thing. I'm very one particular person. That's what the prophet was, one particular person, and it was being obedient to God. Don't let people manipulate you and give you a whole house away. Because people are trying to make you feel sorry for them. It's a person. God will prick your spirit. She knew that was a man of God that came to her. She knew she was supposed to be obedient to God. So have your discernment on. Don't let people come to you and try to take every pair of shoes out your closet. It is an assignment for that person. They don't really want the shoes, I promise you. Just like he didn't have to have that cake from her. It was plenty of people's houses he could have went to save. But he was assigned to that particular widow. Because we all know it wasn't just one widow in Zephyr that he could have went to. Somebody else needed to be saved, but God knew that that individual person would be obedient. So God needs to know that you'll be obedient too. So that he can get you through your drought. Whatever that drought you're going through. So that was assignment number 2. Y'all remember what was the third thing we talked about? I know y'all like, please. No, I don't want to know. That was our stretching. Anybody want to be stretched? Or y'all just comfortable right where you at? You afraid to raise your hand and say something, huh?
Stretch only this
How many people want to be stretched? Or you just happy where you at? Nobody gonna say nothing? You want to be stretched? You want to still grow? You want to get out your comfort zone? Nobody? Okay, we gonna pretend that you do. We gonna pretend that you want to get out of the routine and be stretched. What is it that you are coveting more than God? And that's a question you're gonna really have to dig down in your soul and ask in your prayer time and have a conversation with him. What are you coveting more than God? Like I told you, it was my sleep. And it really, when God wanted my sleep, God wanted to know, was I gonna be available when he called on me 24 hours a day? Some of us is our kids. We spend all our time with them when we ain't got time for God, because we could be on our way to an assignment and something happen to our kids, whoop! We're gonna turn around and we're gonna stop whatever we do. But the thing is, God wanna know that you can say, God got them, and I'm gonna go do what you told me to do. Right? Might not be your kids, might be your grandkids, might be your pets, might be your best friend, might be you sleep just like me. You just like to wallow in the bed for a little extra time. I'd be like, God, I'll catch you about in 30 minutes. Yeah, because I need this little extra 30 minutes. I'll even reset the clock. I just need the clock to reset for 30 more minutes, God. So, whatever it is that he is saying, just show me. And the thing is, if whatever you were running to help somebody else get out of, God is going to handle that. God don't need you to play God for them. He just needs you to get out of their way and go the way he told you to go. So, that's our 3 challenges. Go the way God told you to go. Give away that thing when the prophet comes, and pour into somebody else so you can get your own abundance. I know that was like, ooh, too much information. All right, anybody got questions, concerns, issues? Uh-oh, so you can say it, we're in a comfortable place. Or you can turn it off, because I don't want their questions to be.